Hey Ottawa, this is your Monday market snapshot for the Ottawa real estate market for Monday, July 24th, 2023. My name is Annalee Rice. I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario with Royal LePage Performance Realty. And every week I bring you the info on what's happening in the Ottawa real estate market. Okay, so first off, we'll look citywide. We see that there was another slight increase to the number of actively listed properties this week. Note that the increase was all in the detached market. We actually saw a decrease in the number of townhomes and condos that are listed for sale. And if you notice that the detached, we actually have over 1,000 detached homes listed for sale right now this week. Sales climbed slightly from last week. It was sort of the opposite. There was more townhomes and condominiums that sold, and the detached homes were flat. Here's the graph form. So we have the increase for the active listings, just slightly. Conditional properties are slightly down, and sales were up just slightly. Here we have the new listings and the sales. And so there were 379 properties that were listed this week. And of those, only 60% or 139 were new to the market, and 40% or 92 properties were relisted. Those percentages are way off from what we normally see. I think this is the first time in, quite a while that we've had the number of sales that were higher than the number of actual new listings, new properties to the market. Sales this week were up slightly from last week, and I had predicted that when we saw the number of conditionally sold properties last week being a fair bit higher. The fact that our sales outpaced the actual new listings to the market, this may cause us to end up having a decrease in the number of active listings in the next few weeks if the sales pick up, or if the buyers start realizing that there's not enough new listings, the sales may start to drop off. So I guess we'll have to keep an eye on that and see where things go. Of the properties that sold this week, 23% of them sold with no conditional period. And of the properties that sold this week, 23%, the same percentage, were on the market for 7 days or less. 66%, or 2/3, were sold within 30 days. Of the homes that did sell within the 7-day period, 57% of those sold with no conditions. That percentage is still a bit lower than what we had seen in the past few months. Typically, we're at 65 to 80% of homes that sold so quickly having no conditions. Next, we'll zoom into the different regions of the city. In the central urban region, we see similar trends to what we saw for the citywide stats. Active listings are up for detached homes and down for both townhomes and condominiums. Sales were down for the detached homes and then up slightly for townhomes and up quite significantly for the condominiums. I think this may be a little bit of a carryover from after the July 1st long weekend. There was a bit of a surge in conditionally sold properties just after that long weekend, and so maybe this is the bulk of them coming through as firm sales. In Canada and Stittsville, we're seeing that the stats are actually counter to what the citywide stats were this week. There was a drop in active listings for the detached homes. It was pretty steady for townhomes, and an increase in the number of condominiums listed. For sales, their detached dropped fairly significantly. And then townhomes remained at 17, so that's pretty high. And condominiums had a slight drop in number of sales. In Barrhaven and Riverside South, we see an increase to the number of detached properties and slight decreases for both townhomes and condominiums. Sales were similar. We have a slight increase in the number of detached homes that sold and steady or slight decrease for the other property types. And in Orleans, we see a slight increase in the number of detached homes listed for sale, a slight decrease for townhomes, and condominiums remained steady at 46. And as expected, I think I mentioned this last week, was that the number of detached sales this week climbed quite significantly. That was due to the number of conditionally sold properties that we had last week. And we actually see a slight increase in townhomes and a slight decrease in the condos that sold in Orleans. Here we have the residential detached full stats. And after probably over a month that I've been mentioning it, the detached home that was conditionally sold in Barrhaven actually did end up sold, but it does not show up in the sold stats this week. It ended up being recorded as sold this week, but the date for its sale date was backdated, and it would have shown up in last week's stats, but it was recorded after last week's stats. So it will not affect the skew the stats anymore, but we will see it show up in the month end stats. It'll probably pull up the Barrhaven sold stats a bit this month. And just as I mentioned a few seconds ago, there was quite a climb in the number of homes that were sold in Orleans. We have 23 sales this week. And this slide shows us the full stats for the residential townhomes across the city. And we have the condominium sales and full stats in table form. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the update. And next week, since it'll be the last day of the month, I will have quite a lot more to share. I'll share all the month-end charts and stats, and we'll see where things are going for July. Hope you have a great week. And please, if you enjoy these updates, please click subscribe, give it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you want to see or hear, and I'd love to share what you're looking for. Thanks.